Hi everyone, welcome to the next part of our Spring Bunny video. Now this is from Rita Berman's spring book, also in her compilation seasons book, and we did a lot of the outside florals yesterday and a very quick base on our rabbit, which may be changed or whatever today. We're going to start with doing the florals and leaves on the bunny, and then we're going to move on to finishing off her fur, I guess. So let's come in close and start with this bit. This bit I feel is part of the tail rather than a floral, so we'll leave that. But we'll do here. And we've got some hearts here that I've noticed, so I'm thinking some pinks might be nice, and we haven't got any pinks on this side of the page, we've only got our orange, so that also sort of influenced me into thinking pink might be rather sweet to do. We have a really very light pink macaron here, which I thought might work quite nicely together with maybe a slightly, actually we could go really dark. Maybe we could go to magenta, but I don't know where that is. That's flamingo pink. Where is my magenta? Is it a red? Is it in the reds? Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, there it is. Here's the magenta. I'm actually going to start with the magenta. I think it would be easier to start with the darker colour. And I'm going to do the bases of our flowers. I'm not going to go too hard with my magenta. I don't want it really, really dark red or anything. I just want it to look like a sort of darker pink, really, and then just sort of start to do it really pale. Can you see? And the same here. And I thought I might just do the hearts in a slightly darker version of this magenta. I'm just building that up a little bit. Oh, I've got an itchy nose, sorry. I'm going to do the little dots quite dark, and with the hearts I'm going to go around the edge quite dark. Now be careful if you don't press too hard, because if you've got a sharp pencil like I have, it's going to snap the tip. Try and press lightly and just layer up your colour. It's quite difficult to be that patient sometimes, to layer and layer rather than but it's also quite useful, because if you do go a little bit wrong, you haven't pushed all your colour down into the page, you've just got a little bit of a layer, so you can either erase it or colour over it a little bit more easily. But I often find that normally when I make a mistake, I just incorporate it, and I don't think it's of a mistake. I think it's Bob Ross I always see quoted as saying, "Happy accident." Here's my pink macaron, and I'm going to do these two. I used to call them macaroons, but I think a macaroon is quite a different type of... A macaron is sort of like a biscuit which is very brightly coloured, or sometimes pastel-y coloured. I'm just going to go over this until I'm happy with the blend. And it has two layers with a sort of sticky, almost jamish stuff between them, I think. I've only eaten them once. But a macaroon is a coconut based biscuit with, I think it has chocolate on it, I'm not entirely sure. Again, I've only eaten them a few times. I didn't used to like coconut as a child, so I didn't eat them then when my mother used to eat them, I think, or have them anyway, in the house sort of thing. I'm going to use two bluish greens here. This is the ocean blue and the turquoise, and I think they might work for these leaves. I'm hoping so anyway. Again, these, remember when we did these, if you watched yesterday, I did my darkest colour over this where we've got the black. I'm going to do the same thing here and actually colour over that black a little bit. Oh, it's quite blue, isn't it? I guess it is called ocean blue. Oh, it's lovely. It's not really what I want though. But never mind, I'm going to go over it with the turquoise, and if it looks too blue, we can try some magic tricks. I think I'm selling you a false promise there. I've got an idea. But we'll see, the turquoise might just sort it out, but it might still be too blue. turquoise. So I'm going to start at the top with my turquoise. Yeah, it's too blue. And then blend it in there. Don't press too hard. I'm going to be adding more layers. Rita's paper is quite good at taking many layers anyway. But these two are very, very blue. I looked at my swatch chart and thought they're very blue, and then decided to use them anyway. Right, we're going to try and turn our blue into green. I'm going to use this magic pencil. I don't know how well it'll work. That's better. Certainly doesn't look as blue as it did before, and it stands out enough from our blue bunny background. It's a bit of an alliteration, isn't it? Blue bunny background. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I'm happy with that. It still looks a little bit bluish, but that's okay. It matches in with the reddy pinks and looks okay. Now we've got this one in the middle I think I'm going to do next. It's sort of a very crown looking flower. Which we do. Oh, we've got a bit of a symmetrical bit going on around here as well. Let's go with a sort of apricot-y, I'm thinking. We'll use this. I think this is the palest. Is this? Yeah, and then that, yes. This, I'm going to start actually with the coral. Okay. And do the bottom. I'm actually going to ignore these sort of stripes. It's not really going to work with my idea. They'll show through, but I'm not going to make my flower stripy. So there's a coral. I'm just going to layer it up a little bit more at the bottom. There we go. And then our peaches and cream for the top bit. Oh, I could talk about a little bit about the Arteza. Did you hear that snap? Pencil range, in that we have a couple of different I'm just going to grab the sage green for my leaves. They have an expert range and a premium range. Now I bought the premium range come in a tube, and I think there's 48, and I bought those when Johanna Basford bought them or was sent them, and it turned out that the colour range that I had in my tube wasn't the same as the one that she had in hers, which was a bit of a mystery. And then being a member of various colouring groups at the time on Facebook and things, people were chatting, and it seemed like there were a couple of different versions of these tubes, and it seemed like this one is I'm trying to find it, sorry, mint green. I'm going to put it all over because this one's quite grey. It seemed like if you bought directly from Arteza, you got a different set than if you bought off Amazon. And there was a theory that one was the American set and one was the UK set, but don't know. So I haven't done a swatch comparison or any swatches of my tube of Arteza Premium because I know they're not going to be the same as everybody else's. Right, these flowers here, I'm thinking I want some orange. Obviously we've done a little bit of orange before, so I'm going to use slightly different colours. Whoops, orange and this one. Yeah. I'm going to start with the orange, and I'm going to do the whole of this flower in orange, but I'm going to add another colour on top after. So don't press too hard, because you'll need some tooth in your paper to add another layer. So yes, I haven't done any swatch charts and things because I fear that it'll be very different to what you might have. And also some of my pencils, I think I may not have them all anymore because some of them are so teeny tiny. I think I got rid of them. I don't keep little teeny pencils. I know some people do. I used to, my son used to collect them. He used to have a whole pencil case full of Staedtler Ergosofts, teeny weeny ones. But I don't tend to do that anymore because, frankly, I've got enough stuff. Now, I'm going to use this passion fruit red to add a few highlights. Firstly, in the centre, I want to put a little bit in the middle, just a circle. And then on the tip of each leaf, there we go, all the way round. Yeah, so no, he didn't. He stopped collecting them when he sort of got a bit older, and which is fair enough. And I just stopped keeping them myself because it's just, as I say, too much stuff. Some people keep them. I know some people find it really hard to throw things away. I'm going to fill this in with this colour too. And it's not something that I can empathise with because I'm not like that at all. But I have an understanding that people are like that. This is orange again. I'm going to just put a bit on top of the red and extend it down a little bit. So yeah, as I say, I can't pretend to empathise. I don't understand it. I would rather, if someone said to me, you've got to throw all your possessions away and start again, I would probably, or you can only say 5 things, I would probably be fine with that. And I would love the opportunity to have a sort of clean slate, as it were. I don't want that colour. Hang on. But I know some people would be filled with horror. I'm going to use the lemon yellow just to brighten up these areas here. But I would be like, yeah, I could cope with that. I could rebuy stuff. I mean, not that I had the budget to do that, but if you know what I mean, the cleansing of it would feel fantastic. I absolutely love throwing things away or donating it to charity. I don't just ruthlessly throw things away. I've never done that with any of my colouring things apart from I've given one colouring book to charity. This is the basil green, and I'm going to just use it for these little leaves. I'm not going to use 2 colours, they're so small. I'm just going to block it in with basil. Oh gosh, that's quite a loud noise. Someone's doing some DIY, but I think we'll be okay. Now these flowers look very similar to this one, but I'm going to do them differently. I think it's fine. Yeah, I've given one colouring book to charity. I was sent it to review, and it was an AI book, and it just wasn't for me. I just wouldn't have been able to say anything nice about it, to be honest. There were maybe 2 or 3 pictures that I liked, and I just wrote to the person who sent it to me and explained very politely that it wasn't my thing, and I'm afraid I would rather not do a review where I had to say things that weren't very positive about something. So she was very nice about it, and she just said that I could hold on to the book, and I just gave it to a charity shop. This is fruit punch, and I'm going to use this for the centre part of the flower. So I did that. So I didn't colour in it at all. I made half a flip through video, and I was like, this is ugh. So it just wasn't for me. I know AI is a huge debating issue, and I don't want to really get into that now, but it just isn't for me. And that's that. We're all different in what we like and dislike, Anyway, so that's the only thing, apart from pencils that are used up, that I've thrown away, peony pink, or got rid of, or given to charity. As I say, I don't read see through. But, I'm not a sort of hoarder / collector, really. But my colouring collection is growing, but I use it all. I don't hold on to things I don't use. And so if I've got, that's why I use these pencils today, because although I have used them in non-video colouring, if that makes any sense, I haven't used them in videos for ages, so I was like, let's get using them. Now I'm going to do these little flowers here before I do the leaves. What colour should we do? I quite fancy some purples up here. What haven't we used? I'm trying to use a big mix of colour. Where's that one? I think that one I want. That one. Are they too similar? Oh no, they're quite different. That's good. Okay, we're going to start with our ubi purple. Is that how you say it? I've got no idea. So at the base, and then just fade it up like that. Front door. Can you hear our front door being opened? Husband's down in the kitchen. Perhaps he's just checking if it's locked. Or we might be doing the recycling, who knows? No, he's coming up. Right, lilac. This is quite a pinkish colour, you can see from the tip. See, this is another reason for doing swatch charts or having swatch charts, is if you look at that tip, it's really different to this. It's quite difficult to identify what the colour might be. Look how pink it is. So we just can bring it down and blend it in with that purple. That's where a swatch can help. I used to not like swatching. I still sometimes am not keen on doing it, but I can see why. I think when I only had 2 sets of pencils, I used to know them very well, so I didn't need to use a swatch chart. But once I started accumulating more, I began to realise and understand more why people wanted a swatch chart. Okay, let's do some of this. What is this? This is the forest green. Do I want that one? Yeah. Let's do it for these 2 sets of leaves on the top. Now we used this last time mixed with the pear green over here, but we're going to mix it with a different colour this time. So we haven't got any of the same combinations. I think it's quite fun to mix it up, make it all a bit different. So I'm just making it a few more layers at the top and sort of fading it down. And this side too. Husband is thinking of making some zines, like mini magazines, really small, sort of 8 pages with various pictures in. He's been working on some for a while, really cute, and I just gave him an idea for one earlier that I thought might be fun, and so I'm wondering if he's going to work on it, absinthe green, but he might have some other ideas this afternoon. He's going to do some art, he said. So that's good. Got a lot of chores I should be doing, but you know, seems like I'm not. we've got oops, that was out of the light, never mind. We've got a guest coming in 2-3 weeks time, something like that. Yeah, 3 weeks time. I don't know, 3 weekends, I don't know. Anyway, sometime soon. And there's quite a lot of tidying up that needs to be done. And clearing up and things, but you know, we've got fern green. I don't think we've used that yet. I'm trying to find it. What's that? 613. That's emerald green. That's not fern green. Is this it? Yeah, fern green. We haven't used fern green yet. Let's use that on these. I'm thinking it looks naturally like a dark colour would be in the bottom here. So I'm going to fade that up and we'll add a lighter colour on the tip. Now of course for leaves you don't have to keep them to green. I find it easier with regards to colour decision making. If you keep it a green, then you know that you're going to be using a green. This is 609, just need to see what it is. Matcha green. So, you know, it makes it a little bit easier. I mean, of course, if you're doing autumnal, you might want some oranges, browns and yellows, but it still helps a little bit to keep the decision making simple. Whereas if you decide, well, I'm just going to do anything, any colour, then you've got your whole your whole pencil tin to choose between. It makes it a lot more complicated, I think. Right, we have a lovely big floral here. So let's have a think. We're not going to do it blue because we've got our blue bunny. We're going to have these bits will be blue. We've got some pink and some orange and some purple. So I'm thinking maybe we could do a really deep red. We've got a bit of red at the bottom, which is out of shot. So we've used our rose red, but I'm thinking maybe if we use the crimson and the carmine, that might work. I'm going to start actually with the crimson, carmine red, sorry, in the centre of these petals. And then fade it out. Oh, I've just had an idea. Let's see how it might work. So keep fading all the way down to the tip. Now this isn't easy. Okay, this is an alternative way of doing it. Cover the whole thing with one layer, light layer. Then start again from here and do another layer. But stop before you get to the tip. Then another layer and another layer, getting closer and closer to the centre. And then you can still create that fade. There's lots of ways you can do it. I just like to build up more layers here, a few less here, and just get less and less. And fade to the tip like that. We will use the other red, but actually not on these petals. It's quite a pretty little floral design, isn't it? We've got all these loopy bits. It could be that, oops, going over this, don't we? It could be that we're supposed to show some background through some of those, maybe the middle one, maybe that one, but I'm going to colour them all in. Make a sort of stripy pattern, I think. Just going to build up some more colour at the centre there because it's a bit pale. There we go. I was doing some research for my book on benefits of colouring, which was quite interesting. My husband said, oh, you'll just have to look up research on benefits of art because there won't be anything on colouring specifically. There was. I found some very interesting research papers, not many, but some, so that was good. As well as some articles from on various websites and things. So that was interesting. But I didn't make it too scientific, but just a little bit of info really, a little bit of background. Now the tips of my flower, I could do in yellow, but then we're going to turn it into orange. But I think I'm going to use this colour, apricot. And yes, it will turn it orange, but in a different way. Like that. I want to use some yellow here, but we've got the centre we could do as well. But if I put yellow down here, it would just go orange anyway. So I thought I would use something orangey. It's almost going sort of slightly salmony pinky, isn't it? Which makes sense as it's an apricot colour. There we go. Now, I'm going to use my crimson red, and I'm going to use that on the outside. I'm actually going to use it on this middle ring. I am just going to block it in, make it really really stand out all the way around, a nice loop. There we go. And now I'm going to grab a yellow. Now this is the jasmine yellow. I think it's quite pale. Look, it's almost a cream. I'm just going to use it in this gap, I think. Because these outside ones might have a bit of blue on where I did the background. So we might want a bit of a stronger colour that's more likely to cover it, although that one's blue. Yeah, do I want that? Yeah, sunflower yellow. On that outside. Really brighten. We'll use them in the middle as well, I think. Such a lovely bright colour. I think I'm going to use it in here. There we go. And I'm going to use the turmeric yellow to do that sort of centre bit there. And our circles, whoopsie, our circles, yeah, what is that? Yeah, sienna brown. I think it'll look good. Let me just check on my swatch. Yeah, because I think it's sort of very reddish. I'm going to try to fade them towards the centre a bit. I don't think it's going to be that easy with them being quite small. The trick is to do more layers as you go around the outside and less as you go towards the middle. Oh, I'm getting very thirsty. What time is it? Oh, it's after 2 o'clock. I usually have a drink at 1:30. That'll be why. But anyway, that's okay. I can get one soonish. Nearly done. There we go. Right, my pencils are getting too cluttered now. I'm using so many, that's why. Okay, we have a bit of foliage up here on the head. Now I've gone over the top of that a lot in blue by mistake, so I'm going to start with my moss green and do the base with that. I think this is wobbly. Oh, it's very wobbly. I'm going to sharpen it. It's the first one I've had to sharpen because I did all the others before we started. I did this one, but obviously too much. That's better. That's not wobbly, I don't think. Now this colour goes really nicely with the pear green, but I think it might be a bit too, not quite what I'm looking for the top of the head somehow. I don't really, I'm trying to work out why I'm thinking that, but I don't know. Feel like I sort of need something that's going to go with blue, maybe. That's what my head's thinking. So I might just grab this one. This is the spring green and use that at the top. I'm going to put it all over because it's not quite the same tone, so it'll just brighten up that base colour a bit and work. There we go. Right, now I'm going to, we have got a leafy pattern here with a sort of border. I'm going to keep that all in greens. What haven't we? We haven't used the lime, that's very bright. This time we'd used it before. I think I'm going to put the lime green straight down on the leaves. Don't press too hard, because I'm going to put a little bit at each end of them. What have I got? I haven't used, that's too... Yes, we'll do something a little bit different. We used a coyote brown on each end. Now it's quite dark, so not going to need too much. Put a bit at each end. Try and sort of fade it in. What you might need to do is go back over with the light green after. That's what I'm going to do. So back to our lime green and and just go right over the top again, layer it up. That's better. Now around the edge of that, I'm going to use my favourite, the pear green. And I think that contrast between brown and green, and then this one which is quite yellowy, would just work. There we go, and then I'm going to move on to some blues. I'm going to come out. I haven't decided actually what I'm doing there. I think we'll start at the top of our rabbit actually, and then decide on that bit at the end. So we need some blue to do around the ears first. I'm just looking at the colours and what matches. Now Mykonos blue I think is quite a good match to, oh that's quite dark actually. Actually that might work quite well, the Mykonos blue as a sort of border. So what I'm going to do with each of these is to make it dark here and then fade it towards the top. So we get a lighter bit there. I don't want to leave any white, but I want it to be really very pale. Okay, and it gives a sort of border look to the ear. And it's quite nice having a fairly dark colour actually because of the black. So I think it works quite well. And I'm going fairly slowly because it's quite fine work, especially as it gets smaller along here. But it'll give you a chance to catch up if you need to. I've always wondered where the Easter Bunny ideas come from. I mean, I've realised that you know, baby animals are born at this time of the year. But what is the whole Easter Bunny hiding eggs thing? Where does he get them from? You know, all that. It's a bit strange. It's not something that is very British, to be honest. When I was young, we didn't do, well, maybe it's just our family, but we didn't do egg hunts. We ate chocolate eggs still, but didn't really talk about the Easter Bunny, and it wasn't, the Easter Bunny didn't leave the eggs, my parents just gave them to us, you know. So it was, I used to do an egg hunt if I went to my aunt's house, but she had an American husband and so did a few more American-y type traditions, which was always interesting and fun. Like she celebrated Thanksgiving and things like that for him, you know, because it's a holiday that he obviously was brought up celebrating being an American. So I don't know what they did. I think they just had a family day, you know, that sort of thing. I think that's generally what happens, isn't it? But yeah, it was always interesting. She was so she travelled the world. Her late husband, he was in the forces, and so he was posted at various different places all the time. Can do the same on the tail, and so they travelled around different countries, and I think that really, you know, gave her some different ideas, I suppose, to like my mum, who didn't go abroad until I was maybe 18, no, maybe older than that, 20 plus. So, you know, it sort of makes you not know so much about what's going on in other countries. Now I'm going to also use this colour for the outside V shape, and I'm going to fade it in the same way, so keep it darker at the bottom and less towards the pointy tip or base. It's not, well, I don't know. Anyway, if you find fading things difficult, you can just block it in with an evenish amount of colour. It won't make that much difference, I don't think. This is really just sort of giving her almost a collar, I think, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to take a second colour, different colour, whoops, we're going to use the peacock blue, and we're going to do the inside here. Now I'm sort of thinking a bit about what else I'm going to do with regards to blues and shading and things. I think I want to do her nose. Can you see we've got a little line? Yeah. Now in the ears here we've got this sort of detailing. I've decided that what I'm going to do is to put my colour darker around the edge and lighter in the middle, and sort of not ignore the patterning, but let the patterning just show through on its own merits rather than trying to colour in each little detail. So I'm just trying to make it look like we're looking into the ear a little bit. I don't know how well that's working, but it's okay. It's quicker than doing each little bit, but that isn't really why I chose not to do it. I just thought it would look nice this way, and it is a little bit fiddly as well, doing it each little bit. Some of the areas are quite small. There we go. Now we have this. What am I going to do? Am I going to do it in blue or am I going to do it in green? Because it looks like leaves or flowers, but it's definitely part of our bunny. We could do it as, I know. So I'm going to use this colour to do the little semicircle shapes, and I'm just going to block them in. I've decided I'm going to colour them as blue flowers, so it sort of works. There we go. We're going to use our blue that we used for the main bunny, which is the robin egg blue for these, but I'm going to gently fade them towards the tip. So put it down quite heavily and then fade it. Now we haven't got it this heavily on any of our bunny yet, but I will be putting down a little bit more in a few places in a moment just to finish her off. I'm pretty decided that I'm not going to do a background because we've used every colour, well, apart from grey and dark brown and black. I don't want those colours in my background, so I think I'm just going to not do a background. Right, there are our little flowers. Now I'm thinking this one here, I'm going to go do a little darker bit around the edge because I think it'd be set in a little bit deeper. I think the legs would be forward of it. So just doing that. And also along here there'd be a sort of bit of a shadow, so I'm just going to fade that colour out a little bit like that, and the same on our tail, just a bit more where it overlaps like that. Now where these legs are, I'm thinking it might be a little bit darker on the outside, but I'm just going to do it a little bit because I still want this to look significantly darker. So all the way down the edge, just a tad, just using the side of my pencil so I can get a very light layer like this, and I might just put a little lighter bit along the edge here, maybe, yeah, maybe not. Let's have a look. Yep, I think I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to brush it off. Now we've got 2 dots here and here that I haven't done. Now that I did that in a red, in a rose red, So I'm going to use the rose red, I think, for those dots. Now these, I would like to put some dots on there. I'm just going to grab a set of gel pens. Whoop, try not to knock other things on the floor. I have my Moonlight set, and I'd quite like to just put some pretty berries on there. Now, I don't want to go purpley pink because we've got that here. So I'm looking, I could go pale blue, which is quite our bunny colour, or this sort of orange or gold. I'm going to go with this sort of goldy brown, this colour. And in case you need it, this is number 415. Gosh, it's too far away. And I'm going to put a dot of it on top of each black circle, so it's coloured rather than black. It may not really show up that much. The pen's not working. It's not going to show up if it doesn't work, is it? There we go, that's better. Sometimes I need a bit of a scribble. These are, because these are very small, they're being the 0.6, they tend to need a bit of encouragement. Okay, now I am going to grab a, this is the light blue, which is number 425. And I'm going to put a dot in the centre of each one of these because it's a bit black, like that. I'd quite like a yellow. Don't have a yellow. I know. We use this greeny colour. This is number 432. I'm going to use this in the centre of here, on each of these. And in the centre of each one of these. You could use a yellow Posca if you want to. And these 3 dots here. So I want to keep the black, but just brighten it a tad. Oh, the centre of there. There we go. I'm going to stop fiddling with him now, so I'm going to leave him there. So there is our bunny in his white background. I'm quite happy with the white. We've got so much colour that I think anything we do with this will make it stand out less, and there's plenty going on without a background. So there he is. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sort of 2-part series. I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.